have nothing else to do, so settle in and do take heed of how this evening came to be.
'Twas October 55, a brilliant time to be alive. The second born, a little boy, a time of hope, of love and joy.
But little did his parents know their bouncing baby son would grow into the toughest of all the bunch, eating miso soup for lunch.
They thought about it hard and long. At last a name they settled on. No other title could suffice than Peter Frederick Paradise.
Growing up at Yarramore would never, ever be a bore. But then one day this 5-year-old sought new adventures, so I'm told.
So out the door and down the drive, Pete hailed a bus and hitched a ride. In search of a new fishing spot, the creek now bored this little tot.
His mother said something was wrong, but apparently not from what we just heard. The house was quiet. Pete was gone. No sign of Peter, not a trace. I would have loved to see Nan's face.
Pete always seemed to have a knack of giving his parents a heart attack. Another story Papa told of when our father wasn't that old.
The two of them went out to see if they could buy the property. And so they set off to meet the man of whom they would offer to buy the land.
The three of them walked around the farm to inspect the site and have a yarn. At some stage, Pete had disappeared. This was standard, naught to fear.
But moments later, to Papa's dismay, the smell of smoke did waft their way. And when they both approached the shed, it was evident a fire had spread.
And there in front the young Pete stood. Clearly he had been up to no good. The men stared in silence. The tension was rife. "We'll take it," said Papa. "Just name your price."
And that, dear friends, is the real story of how our beloved Yarramore came to be. Thanks, Dad.
One day at school, poor Pete was teased, and shall we say he was less than pleased. And so a glass milk bottle he did hurl, and struck his bully, a little girl.
Straight in the skull, her head was split. Did Pete feel bad? No, not one bit. When asked, Pete said it served her right for mocking Peter Paradise.
Then in year 6 or thereabouts, when all young boys turn into louts, the time finally came to re-elect another bunch of school prefects.
Pete needed help with this conquest. Rather than leave it to chance, he thought best to recruit the school bully to see him through. His accomplice's name was Peter too.
And together they launched a scathing plan campaign, and cut down any kid who threatened their reign. They bullied, bribed, and disrespected anything to get elected.
The votes were counted, the results were in. It was Peter Paradise for the win. No matter what they said, Pete didn't care. He knew he'd won it fair and square.
Survival of the fittest was never more true than if Peter went to school with you. The King's School was another feature. I wouldn't have wanted to be a teacher.
But rugby and rowing was always a treat, even if Peter was less than elite. Then came uni, and what happened there, we don't want to know, and we don't really care.
But it was Jude who stole his heart away. It was love at first sight, we're happy to say. Well, almost first sight, but we won't name names. Godmother, you're lucky you escaped the flames.